All right, what's happening, y'all? Welcome to the afternoon stream for the book map. A lot of craziness here, spiciness, man. And just as we get on right now, they have another large pump here with the reduction of all of the icebergs and liquidity on the charts. So right when we come on here, the top of the hour, they do that. I think I posted the wrong YouTube link. I did. Let me delete that. Delete. There we go. 1 second. There we go. All right, yeah. So a lot of craziness here, man. We started out the day very bullish, a lot of green. We transacted into 17,100 on Nasdaq and almost 4,800 on ES, and then dumped back down. The big all-star today are the icebergs. The icebergs have been incredibly accurate. We've had a phenomenal amount of icebergs roll on the charts today, both in the support to rally, and then they came in a big way right before the big drop. So they've been pointing the direction for the past 3 weeks, and it's been very fun to watch. Nasdaq just dumped below 17,000, well below it actually, 16,975, and has come back in to test the morning lows, which is about 976 here. So this will be a pivotal moment, and we'll be watching this very closely. Starting out the day here. So continue to watch the liquidity. That's really what I want to track. We do have Biden talking today, obviously. We'll be watching him as we're testing the lows of the day. Right, meow. 17,000 coming back up. Biden will be speaking after we talk. Well, he's scheduled to speak right after we're done streaming here. But yeah, Nasdaq just put in a new low of the day, which is very bearish. This is actually in the world of defining ranges. This is a low probability day. The fact that we set the morning range, we broke above the morning range and held it and trended up, and now we've put a new low of the day in. This happens about 6% of the time. This is a very low probability day. Now we're down under the low of the morning low. We're at 16,985. We're testing some pre-market pivot levels in the 16,970. Volume is pretty strong. We have a very large amount of selling and buying volume, buying in the morning, selling in the afternoon here, or the early morning, I should say. Microsoft is giving back a lot of their profits this morning. Amazon as well. Apple gave back a little bit, but still holding. But overall, there's a lot of relative weakness in the market. The only thing really holding us up here is tech. And now that they feel some pressure, the NASDAQ is feeling pressure and the overall general market is feeling pressure. But again, the whole highlight here has been Bookmap. This 47.75 has been on since the opening bell. They finally gave it out, and now we're transacting lower. And there's been a phenomenal amount of icebergs transacted today, both on the morning, the afternoon, the highs and lows, and everywhere in between. Large red candles now, 16,976 and still falling. Look out on the daily chart. We have a little bit of a top wick, which literally this candle is so far is the exact opposite of yesterday's candle. Yesterday was a very large bottom wick hammer. Today is a very large inverse hammer, or turning into an inverse hammer. Already, we still have 3 hours left in the market. Already, we are almost to yesterday's volume, and we still have 3 hours left in the day. So, high volume day as both players are participating. And if you want to be bearish, we need this candle to close down and even flip red if possible, which would be a phenomenal sell-off. But you need that candle to flip down and hold down if you want to have any inclination. Overall, 46.80 on the daily chart is what I need to start to wipe out demand. But we have a long way to go. 47.74 just finally filled on ES as they're continuing to bottom wick this stuff and transact lower. So yet again, more icebergs coming on the tape. I would say when I see this type of iceberg structure on the market, I am anticipating a lot of big moves, and today I think can showcase that. There's just been yesterday, today, thousands upon thousands of iceberg orders that we don't normally see, and man, what a day. What a day. In my personal account, I am short from 1720 on NASDAQ. So Not much, only about 40 points here. I'm not trading anything on the prop firm right now. I usually try to stay away from that crap, but we'll see what happens here. Basically, we rolled off through the POC on the 15-minute and then blew through the VWAP. $47.74. New low of the day on NASDAQ, still punching lower here. And coming on down. 16,972. Yep, Disciple, we need to figure out who's right and who's wrong because I don't want to be throwing off the bias in the room. So I need to figure out if I've been wrong for the past 12 months about the GEX data or not on that 4,800 because there's, man, a whole bunch of exposure. However, this price action is incredibly bearish with supported volume too. So we have a lot of a lot, like I said, a lot more icebergs just transacted to the tune of, I don't know, about 1,000 on this one. This one's not as big, but yeah, still going, still going. Large red candles here on dropping on NASDAQ. Very, very good. So I'm still riding my short down. Just like this morning, there are no signs of buying. Just like this morning, there were no signs of selling. Obviously, it transitions very quickly, but all I can recommend for these type of waterfall crazy days where you have both big bullishness and big bearishness is to just roll your stops. We don't know when it wipes out this many supports like this. Obviously, it's already taken out the morning low, which, like I said, this is a low probability day. The next pivot I would probably say is 930 on NASDAQ, quick glance. SPY failed R1 and on down. Now here's the deal. R1 today was yesterday's R4 significant level. And obviously now we rejected it and come back off. Ah, dang it. Sorry, Dan. I always forget that. My bad. 15 frames per second. Live. We'll do it live. What are your thoughts on Tesla puts next week? Is Joe talking? No, he'll talk. He's scheduled to talk at 2:15 Eastern time, so another hour and 10. What are my thoughts on Tesla puts? Well, Tesla has been getting destroyed. They have earnings next week as well. I can't opine on earnings. I don't know what they're going to do on earnings. I do know they are coming into some major support, so it's game time. It's game time for Tesla here. Tesla, obviously was the golden child of the market, one of the golden childs, I should say, until about a year ago when they started getting beat down. And they're definitely not feeling the love the past couple of months. That is for sure. 47.50 call. Nice, Trader J. Yeah, I'll definitely check him out, Disciple. I'll definitely check him out. 294, another iceberg coming on here. So still piling on the icebergs. If you're not familiar, we've had, an absolute onslaught of icebergs today, both in the supportive and restrictive manner. But since this morning, we've got about 20,000 quantity total of icebergs on the tape. And yesterday we had 10,000 in the morning, 3,000 in the afternoon. Big old bottom wick. Right back up. Overall, it's a row. Nope, not the right. I've got different streams. All right, here we go. Am I in a position right now? I am in a position right now, yes. I am short from 17,020 on NASDAQ. When we broke down after the top wick at 1245 is when I went short. Why am I long biased? Is this the right stream? Nope, this is not the right stream again. I'm all over the place today, people. Now I'm on the right stream. Okay, here we go. Will SPY bounce back today? I don't know. I don't know. Let me zoom out to the daily. The daily SPY chart. In fact, let's do it together on the YouTube. Let's go to the daily. We'll do it live. So the daily is right here. We have been pretty much right here since December 13th. It's been a month and 5 days since we entered this range, and it looks like this big wave. Y'all remember math? Little sine, cosine, tangent, SOHCAHTOA? Yeah. Well, this market is soaking a toe it to us right here. 472.77. In my opinion, there should be no bias in between those yellow lines. A long-term bias, I should say. I'm still expecting attacks on these levels here based on the volume and the bottom wicks, because bottom wick, bottom wick, bottom wick, bottom wick. Oh, that one's a doji. That doesn't really count. But still, bottom wick, bottom wick, bottom wick. But here, if this were to fail and drop, again, I'm not looking all huge bearish down here. I would look to attack the 466 range. But I'm not looking for anything down here until we are able to drop and then close below this level. That's a huge support right here. You see this bottom X here and bottom X here. So there's a lot of support right here. We're still in just a very, very large daily range. This goes for this. This is the same thing on ES and NASDAQ as well, although NASDAQ is still at the top of their range. SPY is still heading lower. I'm still short from NASDAQ. NASDAQ continues to pummel lower. Still a lot of pressure. Is YouTube live? Yep. Where's my stop? I will set my stop at the morning low, which is 16,986 on NASDAQ. That's where I'll set my stop. If I'll be honest, I currently do not have a stop actively set. I'm just kind of ballparking, but I will set a stop here shortly at the morning low. I have a point at which I'll get out, which will be at the morning low. We have a bottom wick on the 5-minute that just closed green and then failed on the follow-up candle. Now this follow-up candle is starting to bottom wick a little bit, but still. And we have a volume influx on the 1305 candle. Look at the 1305 candle right here. Both on the NASDAQ and the S&P, we have an influx. We also have this supportive iceberg right here at 4770. We have NASDAQ putting on more structure at 16,900, which would be an additional 80 points down from here, which would put us into red territory, close to it on NASDAQ, and heavily red on ES. Today has been a very whipsaw of a day. It's been a glorious day. Absolutely it has. Yeah. Side gig guru. But if you are in the Bookmap community, I've been posting in the Bookmap channel all of the iceberg notifications because it's been beautiful. Going all the way back to last week, it's been beautiful. These icebergs. You could have no other analysis except just purely trading the large block of icebergs and be successful. If you just waited for the large block of icebergs and be successful. Am I still looking at SPY on TradyTix? Currently, I'm not looking at it, but usually I'm back and forth between the larger players, SPY and SPX. What are your thoughts on Microsoft? Yeah, it's looking kind of Microsoft right now. Microsoft is getting pummeled at the moment. Looking at the daily chart on Microsoft, though, new breach and all-time highs, 3 days ago on Tuesday. And then they bottoming back up, and here we're kind of holding under 390. So, again, the mega caps are holding everything up. They've been phenomenally green today and until obviously recently. But yeah, they are really holding us up, and it's really on them. It's incumbent on them to holster the movement of the market at the moment. Appreciate the Microsoft pun. You're welcome. You're welcome. Still coming off 16,790. All right, what do we got? Still dropping. So I'm up about 60 points per contract here, short from 1702, and I'm still gonna set my stop at about 986, and that'll be the morning low. If it recaptures that, then I'll look for just back into the range. Now, just like we rejected the breakout this morning, if I want to see a continued trend down here, obviously it can continue to blow down. I don't know. But if I would really like to see a rejection of the low, we can come up, retest the 16,987, which is also the 80 EMA, if you're that style of trader. Retest the morning low, top wick, and then shift lower. Otherwise, we're going to do exactly what we did this morning, except inverse, right back inside the range. I held my call too long for Microsoft. Was hoping to get it back up to 394 based on pre-market. Yeah, this market was a pretty big rocket ship. NASDAQ has not had any real big players on icebergs, down to 16,925, and ES still has its 4770. This morning, I was looking along on ES off 4775 with this structure who's been there since this morning. We never got down to it. We only got to 4579. Bounced, went way up to almost 4800, and then now we're right back onto it. So it did fill. It just took 4.5 hours to do so. Nuggets like that, Mr. 50. Love it. All right. TLT down to 93.75. So this is a pretty good play. I'm probably being a little greedy at this point, but I want to let this thing breathe. And I'm willing to give back about 15 points to see if I have an increased chance on this thing shifting to the imbalance that occurred at 05 this morning. Or 06 Eastern time, 05 my time. If we could fill that imbalance, that would give me an additional 40 points, which would put me at about 100 points per contract on NASDAQ, which would turn into a pretty good play. So it's game time. Hoop! Right here. Any Bulls fans out there? Driving lower. New low of the day on NASDAQ, still driving lower, which is pretty great. 4770 into the iceberg. Looks like we're about to transact that iceberg. So just watch this liquidity shifting here. Now, this has been the main level, 47.75 and 70. See it right here transacted. The main two levels overall the entire day. They just removed it and put it back on without transacting it. So they are kind of managing it, and now it back off again. In the 47.70 realm. So after we finish that, now we can see the full strength of the bears. SPX flag breakdown on the 10-minute. I'll take a look. I don't track the 10-minute. I track the 5 and 15, but let me look. We had the flag there that did break down, which is where I took my entry at the 1250 candle. Let's take a look at the 15. Let me take a look. Entering March puts. What'd you take? Outside of the break at the 1230 candle broke. I don't see another one unless you're talking about a little further zoomed out. Let me see. Yeah, show me a screenshot so I can look at it. Translated, which means get the pitchforks ready. There you go. What do you got? Oh yeah, the puts. Yeah, that's why I haven't been FOMOing on my TLT position, because I think there's a lot more pressure in TLT to be had. Not to mention, you saw what I posted last night. Trader J saw it. that institutions are max short on TLT, not retail institutions. Meanwhile, retail is max long on TLT positions. I'm seriously looking to trade futures. I struggle with the Greeks. Well, here's the deal. Greeks are a tool, right? Um, you still want to focus on price action and volume. Greeks just help you. You know, they're a phenomenal vehicle to which to do further analysis, especially with the maximum amount of option chain activity we've had. But it all comes down to price action and liquidity and volume. If you can understand that the market is simply an auction, you know, if you go to Podunk, United States to buy something at an auction, like a piece of a farm equipment or an auction, and you got the guy yelling out at 5,000 words a minute with his legs kicking around. If there's no one trying to buy it, then the price is too high. And the object of that auction is to, all right, who's got a bid? Let's start the bidding off at $50 if it's not 200, and to drive that price lower until he finds buyers. And when he finds buyers, and he starts going, yeah, but 50, not going, what's 55? And he starts doing all that crap, and he actually starts getting bids. What's he done? He's hit liquidity. He's seeking out liquidity through driving the price lower, and that's all the auction is. That's all the market is. Don't get caught so much. I think a very bad thing about the market is the fact that we rely simply on the visual nature of the market, right? The red candles, the green candles, which it makes us forget what's actually happening. And all it is searching out for liquidity. And that's really what you need to focus on. I know I come up with some crazy metaphors, but that's the best thing I could come up with. But that's really all it is we're seeking out liquidity, and our job is to translate the language we have here in the form of candles into liquidity grabs. We're right on top of the 15-minute POC right here on NASDAQ, and I just shifted down to 952. ES is still not grabbing this liquidity just yet. NASDAQ is pumping on 16,900. I'll be honest with you, people. I don't want to set my stop too tight on this. I want to give this a chance to grab that 900. That would be phenomenal with a capital F. Yes, I know it starts with a P. I just saw your IBKR video. Any tips on faster options execution? They do have macros that you can do the book trader, and actually do macro into positions. I personally don't do that. I click too fast. So I like what I've got. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That type of thing. But other than that, I don't. Just becoming familiar with the setup, with the execution, with the format of IBKR. I think of an auction as well. I cringe when people call it a casino. Yep. If it was a casino, nobody would ever have any consistency, ever. People treat it like a casino. You can make this a casino, at which point I tip my hat to you, because you're just going to face a lot of destruction. Un momento, por favor, here. Boom. Boom. All right, we're back. And now I've become Death Destroyer portfolios. Yeah. There we go. So, yeah. We still have a lot of pressure. You still see that the buyers are attempting to bottom wick this thing. And I'm currently monitoring both the 5 and the 15 simultaneously. I've got them both open. I'm watching them form because it's curious. And the sellers continue to auction lower. We're still transacting this thing through demand, into demand, and through demand on NASDAQ. And now they're putting on this 900, which would be 55 points down from here. ES now put on 4760. So they're still building positions lower here. And I don't know where we're going. All I'm seeing here is that there is appetite for lower. Now look at Apple. What is Apple doing right now, by the way? Look at this. Golden Child is giving some back. right here. So that's got a little pressure there as well. The rocket ship this morning is now giving some back. Coming on down. My chat window is not there. I can't see comments. Let me see. There we go. Okay. Dropping. Glad I wasn't trading today. I don't know, man. It hasn't been choppy. It's been a little slow at some points, but it's definitely picked the trend and stuck with it until it shifted. So yeah. $16,954. We just bounced off the 15-minute POC. Let's go to the 60-minute because the 60-minute is very important. We're through that POC and heading back down in the middle. RTY is making a nice move down. Yeah. So the Dow was a little weak this morning, obviously because of healthcare. You know, UNH, which was one of the biggest players, was getting smoked, as was Goldman Sachs. Look at Goldman Sachs right now. What have they done in the past 4 hours? They just try to go base jumping without a parachute. And anyone who's ever done that, it's not a fun experience. Why has Tesla been getting hammered for weeks? I mean, they've had a lot of hit pieces come out on them, a couple of software refreshes. Of course, now they've got the stuff with Winter. If maybe lack of confidence in the CEO, maybe political attacks from what he's been saying, to the whatever I don't know. Either way, it's been very sustained, getting pummeled. They've dropped 60 points on their stock price, and they're coming into major support. I'll tell you one thing. NASDAQ's daily chart looks terrible. Terrible. Not a fun chart to look at. So another green attempt. Top wick. And now what do we have here? Even more. 47.65, 47.60. NASDAQ still has a 16,900, and even they're putting on more pressure. So every green attempt is met with pressure. And look at the CVD. A little pop, boom. They drop the CVD right on back off. So there's still plenty of pressure here. Looking at the market, I'm still holding short on my NASDAQ position. On down. 16,971 here. I'm sorry, 961. ES is still dropping off. Top wick doji back off. So in the world of price action candles, dojis obviously are neutrality. So I'm not seeing a lot of major moves here. I don't want to look at these as necessarily bottom wicks because the sellers are matching their efforts. Wyckoff effort versus result, no bueno. Not to mention, if you look at the 1305 candle, we have a major hammer with volume, fails effort versus result, meaning there's too many sellers. And I think now all we're doing is waiting for a shift lower. Based on this price action here, I would say we're waiting for a shift lower. Where that is, I don't know. Maybe it's 900 on NASDAQ. Maybe 47.60 on ES. But let's watch. What is a planetary looking indicator to the left of your screen? I'm also in astrology. So as I'm trading, I like to monitor planets. So like that's Jupiter. That's Neptune. That's Uranus. Just kidding. That is Bookmap. That's why we're here. Bookmap right there is a live liquidity tracker, order flow tracker. So this tells me where the overall liquidity and order flow is in the market. Now we have a couple of other add-ons and indicators and stuff like that we could talk about, but the general consensus here is just simply order flow and liquidity. I was about to unsubscribe. So I started out before I even heard of Bookmap. I started out trading level 2 data. I'd have my level 2, I'd have the DOM up, everything, and what this tool has allowed me to do is just kind of take my, reduce my usage of brain bytes and just use a visual aid. And then, of course, the custom tailor to a lot of indicators like icebergs, which are obscured orders. But yeah, it's all about order flow. And I'm a VPA trader, volume price analysis trader, and to me, volume is one and the same with order flow. A little bit green. Alaska Air cancels the remainder of 737 MAX flights through January 21st. 3 days. You're welcome, Henry. I do have a YouTube video on my channel about how to use Bookmap. Not to mention, Bookmap themselves have a ton of resources in their knowledge base, which I'd encourage you all. If you all are an active user of Bookmap, I would encourage you to go look at their knowledge base. There's so much information about each individual indicator you can read about. Not to mention their YouTube channel. A lot of great resources and tools. 16977 here. You welcome, Henry. If we trade MES, should we watch Bookmap ES? Or I would do ES. I would track ES. MES is yeah, the big dog is ES, and I want to know what the big dogs are doing. Personally, a large green candle. Look at this. About to attack the morning low here. About to attack the morning low. So this will be the point at which I decide to get out. If they hold this candle green, I'll go ahead and stop out of my short here. That's a pretty big engulfing green candle. And if they hold it green, then I'll be willing to get out. Pretty crazy day, man. Pretty crazy day. I like it. I like a little volatility sometimes. It's good stuff. Still even bigger green, 985. I'm long NASDAQ at 972 and short CL, break-even stops. CL is starting to put on a little pressure. Large green candles. $47.80 put on at 737 liquidity. You see that big order comes on. Man, there's a lot of liquidity on this chart, man. Very robust order book. Anticipating movement. Let's see. Red candles off morning low. So this is the make or break. We have a first red candle off of the morning low perfectly. And this is where I'll decide to get out, at this morning low area. They overtake morning low, I'm out. And that's going to get me out right there. Outskis. I'm out. That's my target. So they still have this right here. They've got all the liquidity up top. They still have a lot of pull. They've removed that 16,925. They still have 900 trim, but there's not much else here except this guy right there is 2.5. But yeah, there you go. There you go. I want to watch ES and then keep your book back. There you go. Let me see this right here. Am I trading SPX? Currently not. I was trading NASDAQ. Trading NASDAQ. Still got a little green. Another iceberg on. Nice, Trader J. Well done. Love it. I tell you what, you pinged the top with that short, and then there. Well done. Great trading today. Great trading today. Large green there, so good exit on my part. I'll take that. Always like a good exit. 16,997 going back to 17,000. Still going. 17. Recaption 17 right there. Nice move. Of course, I walked away when the big dump happened. That's okay. That's okay. Attack at 17,025. Also, POC is shifting higher. Right back up. Back inside the range. All glorified range day. Ooh, Damien. How's your position sizing been? Here's the deal. You have to remember, it's inevitable that you will face a losing streak. Even the best trader in the world, doesn't matter, is going to face a losing streak. So my question to you is, how are you going to fight that? When you're like, what fail safe do you have in your system that no matter what, like you're like when your back's against the wall, like what is it? When it's time to pull the parachute. So what I would encourage you to do is develop a system that you can get destroyed for 15 days in a row and still be okay. That's my tale to you. That you could take 15 days in a row of just absolute onslaught losses and still not blow up your account. If that's possible, then you've got a system in place. Yep, small stops in size. Now, obviously, that's extreme. I don't want you taking 15 days in a row of losses. If that's happened, then you probably need to stop trading for a week or so to kind of let the market shake out. But I think my TOS, my fills are terrible. I've never used TOS, but um, I don't know if fills would be the cause of bad trading like over the course of that of like 2 weeks. It might cause some slippage, might cause a little slippage, but if it is that problematic, then I would absolutely get away from TOS. Like right now, I would close your account and shift your money somewhere else if it's that big of an issue. 100%. Either way, man, you've shown that you're consistent enough to do good. I mean, you went 6 months of consistency. You're killing it. Pull it at full port. Oh my gosh. Last day calls always pay. Yep. Late day calls. Yeah. Yep. Hmm. It's going faster up than down. Yeah. Yeah. Look, I mean, it's going up a lot more than it was before. Now it's right back up to where my entry point was. So good stop out. I'll take it. Seriously though, my TOS fills are fine when limit orders are waiting at pivot levels. Not great for scalping. If it's that big of an issue either way, then I would be getting away from TOS. How is TOS so popular if that's big of an issue? No cost. Yeah. Large green. Move up. Look at that. 80-point move up on NASDAQ. They're still building structure on the way down. As we're moving up, we're still building lower structure here. It's crazy stuff. What a move. Crazy stuff. On the 15-minute, that's a massive green candle. It is. I'm watching the 15-minute right now. It's a massive engulfing that took over 3 green candles. I'd be willing to bet that's exactly what it is, Kit. Yeah. Hammer that baby home right off the 15-minute POC and just launching. Launching. Man, what a move. Just joined the stream. Don't know if you already answered this, but are you staying or after bookmap for Biden? No, I'm not going to stay on stream. I will be hanging around the computer for any kind of movement, but with him being sometimes an hour late, I'm not going to sit here and stream for an hour waiting on him. So we'll see what happens. Double top wick there. Nice little red coming down, 17005. Rejection Roni. Playing it a little close to the chest here. Apple, large green, they recovered a whole bunch as well. A very exponential move. And NASDAQ is holding on. Another bottom wick right there for this move up. Let's see, 710.09, 710. See what they want to do with this. They're kind of basing at the moment. I still hate these kind of moves. You either get in early or never. Yeah. Do I ever trade E6? What do you mean? Big old bottom wick here, dojied out. Looks like they're still holding. Right back to a middle of the range here. Bottom wicking back up, still going. NASDAQ is climbing here as well. Doing its thing. Got about 10 minutes left here in the stream. If you have any questions, let me know. Let me know. Otherwise, we'll just wait. So, got out of my trade already after this, right before this big bounce, and it's going. Oh, no, I currently don't, Trev. Did anything point to this? I wouldn't say there wasn't a lot of data for the big bounce. There was a lot of pressure lower here. We came on down. The 15-minute POC probably would have been some support there, but no, not really. That's the nature of this market. There's a whole bunch. I mean, there's a ladder here, which I haven't seen in a long time. Y'all remember the ladders of liquidity coming on. So there's a whole bunch of liquidity, which means there's going to be a lot of volatility. This is a very, very robust book. What's up? $17,017. Back and forth. All right. Still waiting. Right now, it's just kind of pinned right here. You see there's a whole bunch right here. Looking around. I struggle with risk management as in taking losses. I have to work more on my psychology. Yep. Well, it all starts on your initiation. It doesn't matter. Once you're in a trade, half the work is already done. Half the work is already done. And the first thing you have to do is decide how much you're putting on the line and at what point you're getting out. Everything has to be bottom line what happens before you even enter a trade. If you're putting too much on the line, then your risk management is going to be terrible. I don't care, who you are. Your management's going to be terrible. All right, yeah, hey, y'all take it easy. Y'all take it easy. Everyone knows how distraught he is. I mean, we've all been there. So take it easy. Take it easy. Can you give me some analysis on Tesla? It looks like 180 is next. Well, they're coming up on a big they're coming up on a big pivot point. That big pivot point down south, that 200 area is massive. So obviously they're on a bit of a waterfall. I'm not really one to try to catch a knife and catch a falling knife, and we'll see. If they hold that 200 with a massive bottom wick with some volume, I'd look to go long. But we have earnings next week as well, so we have earnings in 6 days. Apex is going 1 day pass and 80% off, and everyone's going full port. That's exactly why they do it, and they are raking it in right now. Raking it in. SPY is going higher. NASDAQ or ES is going higher. NASDAQ is not. They're pinned, but it looks like they want to. Looks like they want to. 474. We've got 4790. I did 1 day pass on my way to pass the second one. 5.5K today. Nice. Well done. Well done. Let's see here. Still holding 17-0. So after a really large engulfing green, we're just kind of pinned. Not really moving. Not really moving. I would have passed already if I wouldn't have cowered. Got out early. There you go. If they have vanilla ice cream on deck, Joe would be... Jeez Louise. Yeah, Biden's still scheduled to speak, so we'll see. 5 minutes till the end of the stream here. What are my rules on a trend line break? Yeah, retesting would be nice. Obviously, the higher time frame trend lines is something I want to pay a little bit more attention to. Anytime we approach a trend line, I want to be able to see whatever signs. Like if you're looking for a big rejection, then we need to see a pretty quick response off of it. If it starts doing the thing where they glue, like if we have like a trend line that we've like already rejected twice, now we're approaching the third time. If they start to glue to that trend line, that's when I don't want to reverse that trend. I want to play through the trend line. But it takes usually multiple touches to do that. Yeah, that's exactly. The 1305 candle did have a hammer with volume. Yep, it did. So that's the indication I'm looking at. It's the only thing I see that could lead us to this move. You're 100% right. Got about 2 minutes left. Hmm. Talking to a manager, she's telling me what the account said. I have only five earn five. I can only buy or sell a call put. Smaller accounts have a yeah, absolutely. Only trade micros. Period. Period. Well, that's about it. Coming up on the top of the end of the move here. Obviously, we had a very, very large green after a very large red move down, and now we've pinned to about 1702. So hasn't been nothing really happened in the past 10, 15 minutes. It does appear we're going to continue to trudge higher here. Apple's blasting up, but that's about it. That's about it. So, any questions, comments, concerns? Please let me know. Hope you got some value out of the little bit of analysis we did here. The 5 minute bottom wick here with increased volume, that shows us where a little bit of accumulation would obviously played out. So bottom wick followed by some neutrality, and then boom, buyers completely take over and blast a baby. So that's a good recap of that move. Other than that, we played the downside, and there you go. So I appreciate you taking the time to hang out with us. Another good stream. I'll see you back here at 1 p.m. Eastern Time next Thursday. I think next Thursday, what is it? Next Thursday is going to be the 25th, so we have a lot going on next week, and it should be pretty fun. So, hope you have a good rest of the day. I'm out. See ya!